HarperCollins presents The Prison Doctor, Women Inside. Stories from my time inside Britain's biggest women's prison, by Dr. Amanda Brown, with Georgina Rogers. Read by Sophie Aldred. Chapter 1. I've got no one and nothing, not even my own teeth. Murder. The words sprang out at me from the smudged screen of the computer, and my heart sank. I was in my small and windowless consulting room in Bronzefield prison. I was halfway through an evening reception shift, meeting new prisoners to assess and discuss their medical issues and prescribe any medication they might need. I was only 2 hours into my shift, but was already feeling weary. Despite having met many prisoners who had committed murder, the impact of the word always caused the same reaction in me: shock, horror, and a deep sadness. I scrolled up the screen to read the nurse's entry. Rebecca was 27 years old, and it was her first time in prison. That in itself was a surprise. I have seen so many prisoners return time and time again that when I meet someone who has never been inside before, it's unusual. Many of the residents' lives are so chaotic, complex, and traumatic that for some of them prison is a refuge, a shelter for the homeless, and often a place to get help with addictions. The women return for a variety of crimes, such as shoplifting, theft, robbery, burglary, fraud, arson, kidnap, GBH or ABH. Rarely murder. When I reached the holding cell, I saw the door was open, and there were 5 women in there. 2 were lying down on the stark blue plastic bench seating, looking extremely unwell, most probably because they were withdrawing from drugs. 1 was pale and sweaty, her hair sticking to her forehead and her eyes shut as she tried to ride it out. The other was clutching her stomach, groaning miserably, not an unfamiliar sound to me. An overweight woman in a wheelchair stared blankly ahead of her. The other 2 sat quietly and appeared to be shaken and fearful. "Rebecca?" I asked as I looked around the room. A girl's eyes peered out from her curtain of long, deep brown hair, like a cornered animal. She looked much younger than her age, with delicate features, a spray of freckles, and intense eyes. She was wearing a knee-length skirt with tights and pale pink pumps, which was splattered with something dark, as was her pale grey top. I tried not to show the shock and surprise I felt, as I realised it was blood. She must have come straight to prison from the scene of the crime. I led her back along the mottled blue lino floor of the corridor to my room. "Hi, Rebecca, I'm Dr. Brown. Come and have a seat." I gestured to the hard and battered plastic chair. "I just have to go through some routine questions to make sure you're okay and see if you need any medication," I told her. "All right?" She didn't reply. I started to go through her notes. She looked shocked to the core. Her hands were trembling, and she fiddled with her cuffs, pulling them over her hands. I noticed that they were also stained dark and dirty with dried blood. I could smell it. Metallic. Slightly sweet. Rebecca's eyes looked glazed and vacant, the look of someone who could not believe where she was or what was happening to her. "I can see here that you are charged with murder," I said. "Can you tell me what happened?" "I killed my partner." Her voice was clear, but started to crack as she said the word partner. I could see she was trying hard to stop the tears, which were pricking the corners of her eyes from falling. She swallowed hard. "I stabbed him." She looked up at me through her fringe. "I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't see a way out. The years of being controlled." She grimaced, and her voice became more defiant. "I was his punch bag. I just couldn't do it anymore." I was already fairly sure what she was going to say, having heard it so many times in Bronzefield before. She rolled into her story, the floodgates opening. Sitting in front
Sample complete. Ready to continue?